Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Metaphysics Podcast. I'm Dennis Goddard,
And I'm Louise Hicks.
and we are jumping right back into our Manifesting Money series.
Episode 2. Here we go.
This time we're tackling a concept that I think we can all relate to,
Yeah.
embracing the flow of abundance, overcoming resistance.
It's a big one, right?
It is.
Because we all want to experience that feeling of abundance flowing into our lives, especially when it comes to finances, but often there's something holding us back.
Exactly, and I've noticed that even when I'm trying to stay positive and focus on what I want to attract, those sneaky little doubts creep in. Those thoughts like, what if it doesn't work for me, or maybe I'm not meant to be wealthy?
That Dennis is the resistance we're talking about. It's that inner voice that throws shade on our dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's often so subtle that we don't even realize it's running the show.
It's like a hidden program operating in the background of our minds.
So how do we even begin to become aware of this resistance, especially when it comes to money? That's where things get interesting. Think about it this way. What's your immediate reaction when you think about your finances? What emotions come up? Are you excited and feeling empowered, or does your stomach clench up with stress and worry?
That's a great question to ask yourself, listeners.
Yeah.
For me, honestly, my first thought usually goes to bills and expenses, not exactly the most abundant feeling.
And that right there is a perfect example of how resistance shows up. It's not just a thought. It's an energetic vibration that we're sending out, and the universe, being the ultimate mirror, reflects that right back to us.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if we're constantly focusing on lack, we're actually attracting more lack into our experience.
Exactly.
But how do we break free from that cycle, especially when our current financial situation might not be what we want it to be?
That's where we tap into one of the most powerful tools we have, our imagination. And before you dismiss this as some fluffy new age concept, stick with me here.
I'm all ears. I've always been a bit of a daydreamer. So if daydreaming can help me manifest abundance, I am in.
Daydreaming is actually a form of conscious creation. It's about shifting our focus from what we don't have to what we desire to experience. But we have to go beyond just picturing it in our minds. We need to feel it.
So for example, if someone wants to manifest financial freedom, it's not enough to just visualize a big pile of money.
Exactly. It's about asking yourself, what would financial freedom feel like? What emotions would you experience? Maybe it's a sense of security, excitement, or even a feeling of lightness and ease.
And then really immerse yourself in those feelings as if you're already experiencing that financial freedom.
Precisely. The key is to engage all your senses and the visualization. If you had financial freedom, what would you see? What would you be doing? What kind of experiences would you be having?
It's like creating a vivid movie in your mind where you're the star living the life you desire.
And the more you practice this, the more you're training your energy to align with the frequency of abundance. It's like building a muscle, and with consistent effort, it becomes stronger and more powerful.
This is starting to get really exciting. But I'm curious, for people who are new to all of this, are there any tips for making visualization more effective, especially if we're used to focusing on what we lack?
Absolutely. One of the best ways to strengthen your visualization skills is to start with something small. Think about a positive memory, something that brings you joy.
Maybe a favorite vacation, a special celebration, or even just a simple moment of happiness.
Exactly. Close your eyes and really relive that experience. See the details, feel the emotions, and immerse yourself in the positive energy of that memory.
Like a mini manifestation practice, almost like a warm-up for those bigger, more ambitious goals.
You got it. And as you become more comfortable with this, you can gradually start visualizing things you want to create in your future.
So we're rewiring our brains essentially to focus on the positive and what we want to attract. But how do we deal with those moments when doubt and negativity inevitably pop up? Because let's be real, life throws curveballs.
That's a really important point, and this is where understanding the true nature of manifestation becomes crucial. It's not about pretending that everything is always perfect or denying those negative emotions.
So it's not about toxic positivity where we're trying to force ourselves to feel happy all the time.
Definitely not. In fact, trying to suppress or deny those negative feelings can actually make them stronger. It's about acknowledging them, allowing yourself to feel them, and then choosing to shift your focus back to what you want to create.
So it's more about recognizing those negative thoughts as just thoughts, not necessarily truths, and then choosing to focus on a more empowering perspective.
You got it. And remember, those moments of doubt, or contrast as we call them, can actually be valuable. They can help you clarify what you truly desire and refine your vision.
It's like those moments are actually guiding us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and what we want to manifest. So instead of getting discouraged, we can use them as opportunities for growth.
Exactly. It's all part of the process. And speaking of process, there's another key ingredient in manifesting abundance that we need to talk about: inspired action.
Okay, I've heard this term before, but honestly, I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually means. Is it like taking massive action toward our goals?
It's more nuanced than that. It's not about forcing things to happen or pushing and striving. Inspired action is about aligning your energy with the frequency of what you want to attract, and then paying attention to the intuitive nudges and opportunities that start showing up in your life.
So it's like a combination of inner work and outer action.
Yeah.
We're doing the internal work of shifting our mindset and beliefs, and then we're also open to taking action that feels aligned with our goals.
Yes. Think of it this way: as your vibrational frequency starts to shift,
Hmm.
you become a magnet for the people, resources, and opportunities that can help you manifest your desires. But you have to be willing to take action when those opportunities present themselves.
So it's like the universe is sending you a little wink and a nudge saying, hey, here's a stepping stone on your path. Don't just stand there, take the step.
I love that analogy. It's about recognizing those synchronicities and trusting those intuitive hits. It might be a sudden urge to reach out to someone, an idea that pops into your head out of nowhere, or even a chance encounter that leads to something amazing.
And the more we trust those nudges and take action, the more we're reinforcing that belief that we are co-creators of our reality. We're not just passively waiting for things to happen, we're actively participating in the manifestation process.
Exactly. And here's a key point that often trips people up. Sometimes inspired action might not make logical sense. It might even feel a little scary or outside of your comfort zone.
So it's about listening to our intuition, even if it doesn't seem rational at the time.
Precisely, your intuition is connected to a higher wisdom, and it's often guiding you towards something that your logical mind can't even comprehend yet. So be willing to trust that inner voice, even if it seems a little crazy.
So to recap what we've covered so far, embracing the flow of abundance is about shifting our focus from lack to what we want to create, using the power of our imagination to feel the emotions of our desires, and then taking inspired action when those opportunities knock at our door. Does that sound about right?
You nailed it. And there's one more crucial piece that we can't forget: gratitude.
Oh yes, gratitude. I've heard so much about the power of gratitude, but how does it actually tie into manifesting abundance?
Gratitude is like a supercharger for your manifestations. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're shifting your energy from a state of lack to a state of abundance. You're essentially telling the universe, I'm already abundant. I have so much to be thankful for.
And that vibration of gratitude, in turn, attracts more things to be grateful for.
Exactly. It creates a positive feedback loop. The more you appreciate what you have, the more you open yourself to receiving even more abundance in all areas of your life.
This makes so much sense. But for someone who's really struggling financially, it can be tough to focus on gratitude when they're feeling stressed about bills and expenses. What would you say to someone who's in that situation?
That's where it becomes even more important to shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on what you lack, start looking for things to appreciate, no matter how small it could be: a roof over your head, a warm meal, a supportive friend, or even just a moment of peace and quiet.
It's about training our brains to look for the good, even amidst the challenges.
Absolutely. And the more you practice this, the more you'll start to notice that there's actually abundance all around you. You just have to be willing to see it.
This is such a powerful reminder that abundance isn't just about money or material possessions. It's a state of mind, a way of being in the world.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life and appreciating all the blessings you have, big and small. And as you cultivate that sense of gratitude, you'll naturally start to attract more of what you desire.
Okay, so we've talked about shifting our mindset, visualizing our desires, taking inspired action, and practicing gratitude. Is there anything else we can do to really amplify our abundance magnetism?
Here's a little bonus tip: be patient and trust the process. Manifestation isn't always instant. It takes time for your energy to align with your desires and for the universe to orchestrate the perfect circumstances for those desires to manifest.
That's a great point. We live in a culture of instant gratification, so it's easy to get impatient when we don't see results immediately. But it's like planting a seed. We have to nurture it, give it time, and trust that it will eventually blossom.
Beautifully said. And remember, the journey of manifesting abundance is just as important as the destination. It's about growth, expansion, and becoming the best version of yourself.
So instead of getting caught up in the win of our manifestations, we can focus on enjoying the process and celebrating every step along the way. This has been such an insightful conversation. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and insights with us today.
My pleasure. I always love exploring these topics with you.
Now, for our listeners who are ready to dive deeper into embracing the flow of abundance, Do you have any final words of wisdom or a simple action step they could take right now?
Absolutely. If you're ready to start shifting your energy and aligning with the flow of abundance, I encourage you to begin a daily gratitude practice.
Okay, gratitude practice. We hear about this all the time, but can you give us some specifics? What does that actually look like in real life?
It can be as simple as taking a few minutes each morning to write down 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything major. It could be something as simple as a good cup of coffee, a sunny day, or a kind word from a stranger.
So it's about training our attention to notice those little moments of joy and appreciation throughout the day.
Exactly. And as you make this a consistent practice, you'll start to notice a shift in your overall energy and perspective. You'll find yourself feeling more abundant and optimistic, even when challenges arise.
It's like those little moments of gratitude are little deposits into our abundance bank account.
I love that analogy. And the more deposits you make, the more interest you'll accumulate.
So to sum up this incredible deep dive, embracing the flow of abundance is about shifting our mindset from lack to possibility, using our imagination to visualize what we want to create, taking inspired action when opportunities present themselves, and cultivating a daily practice of gratitude.
Beautifully said. And remember, abundance is available to everyone. It's our birthright. It's not something we have to earn or chase. It's simply a matter of aligning our energy with its frequency and allowing it to flow into our lives.
This has been such an empowering and insightful episode. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us and listeners. If you enjoyed this deep dive into manifesting money, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear about your experiences with embracing the flow of abundance.
And if you're craving more explorations into metaphysics and personal growth, be sure to check out our other episodes on the Metaphysics podcast. We've got tons of insightful conversations and practical tools to support you on your journey.
Until next time, keep those vibrations high and those manifestations flowing.